Hey, what's up, gamers? And, well, since I got a lot to cover, a lot of game reviews or game series to cover, if you get my point on that one, and top 10s, top 5s, and so forth, I figured, I might as well kill three birds with one stone and do once again, which I know I haven't done this in a while, a 3-game, 3-part review. So, yeah, no particular order of release date or whatnot. This is just my order, and, no particular order of what game console they come from. So, yep, you get my point. 3 games picked randomly of my choice because I want to review them and get them out of the way. It's going to be obviously a little more brief than, more descriptive. So let's get to it, starting with Kirby and the Planet Robotbot. Obviously, I included this on what I think the top 10 best video games of 2016 was, and obviously this one showed up. So yeah, it's obviously released on the Nintendo 3DS. And it's compatible with any one of them, including the 2DS, so you don't have to worry about that. And all I could say was, thank the Lord it delivered. So, yeah, I've been always a huge fan of the Kirby franchise from day one. I mean, from the Game Boy games, the NES game. And then over the years, Kirby has kind of gotten a little, kind of lost its touch a bit. Like with some of the Super Nintendo titles, N64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and even Nintendo DS, which I can understand they're going to utilize some ideas from the consoles and, well, take ideas from other game franchises, which some of them worked, but other times it feels like they derive itself too much of this franchise and what Kirby is known for. Not that these all were bad, they were just, well, hit or miss over the years. And of course, Kirby's The Epic Yarn, I think, was probably, in my opinion, and I know I'm probably alone on this opinion, but I thought this one was probably the weakest entry in the Kirby franchise, and even the Rainbow Curse on Nintendo Wii U, which I did anticipate, but again, I was a little disappointed. I didn't like the whole usage of the whole drawings touchscreen thing, even though the Wii U is well known for it, but in my opinion, it just didn't work. I mean, it just was tedious and hard to use, and I just simply like using Kirby, moving side to side with the D-pad and analog stick and so forth. But then, of course, there was Return to Dreamland, which, yeah, return is the right word. Pretty much returned Kirby to its full glory. Okay, maybe not full glory, but it was Kirby being Kirby. The bottom line is, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. I know that Nintendo wants to try to make changes and, put new ideas in the game, but you can't derive itself too much from its original source material. You have to do something that actually works. And thankfully, that's what this game does. No gimmicks, no screwing around, just Kirby being Kirby. And of course, in this game, as well as, and I enjoyed Triple Deluxe on 3DS as well, because, yeah, the adventure mode was really fun. It was simple, it was straightforward, and that's the way I like it. As well as the other couple of side games that are included in this gaming pack. And this one is no exception to that, either. This one has an adventure mode, and, well, yeah, it has a bunch of side games, too, as well. I might as well get the side games out of the way first before I get to the main adventure. First one, of course, is called Kirby Team Battle, and what do? Well, you team up with either a computer player or a actual human player, but unfortunately it only does it via Street Pass, not with internet Wi-Fi, which, well, unfortunately to me kind of sucks. I mean, I would like to play this online, like with Resident Evil or any other 3DS game, Mario Kart, or Super Smash Brothers. Nope, it only works via Street Pass, unfortunately. So, this one's obviously all about defeating a boss fight, with your team player. And, well, you want to get as many hits as possible because then you get experience points. That's right, it's a role-play game. And, well, of course, no matter which power-up you choose, every rank will be pretty much the same. So, yep, choose your power-up and team up with another human or a computer player and kick that boss's ass. So, not much to say there. A bit repetitive, but could be fun. Then the next one is, of course, called Kirby 3D Rumble. This one, unfortunately, unlike that, if you like teaming up with players, then this one obviously is, well, a single-player game. And, well, what do? This one's all about simply combo moves, not fighting, but, well, sucking up enemies, and, of course, spitting them out onto each other, or, doing whatever you can to take out enemies without getting a hit, because that'll screw up your combo. That's what this game revolves around. Getting simply as many hits on enemies as possible, moving up from level to level, and eventually facing off against the boss, and getting up as many points as you possibly can to unlock the next world. Not much to say, a little repetitive, but it's pretty enjoyable. So, and it'll always keep you coming back for more because, of course, you have to have enough points to unlock each world. And now, of course, for the main part of the game. How does it hold up? Well, let's take a look at the story. Plot-wise, yeah, there actually is a plot to this game, which is pretty interesting. And yes, again, you can skip the cutscenes, which, I don't know, I don't feel like doing because I'm interested to see what goes on. I mean, the 3D effects are great, being that this is on, of course, 3DS. And, of course, the plot is that the planet that Kirby lives on gets invaded by aliens, King Dedede, and all the other enemies that, of course, you have sort of a twisted alliance or frenemy relationship with. Because, yeah, he's, of course, the bad guy, but seems to form an alliance over time with him. Of course, he gets destroyed, and it's up to Kirby because, of course, he slept through the alien invasion to save the day. So, yep. Pretty simple as that, and that's how it should be. Simple, but straightforward and familiar and fresh. And that's the way I like it. Because, yeah, the game graphics, the level designs, they're all great. And it's got a great variety of enemies and power-ups. Yep, stuck-up enemies and gain their power-ups. There's ones that you remember from the last game, and even the older ones, as well as a few new ones added in there as well. The level designs and 3D graphics are fantastic. Of course, it's 2D side-scrolling, but like the Mario Brothers on the Wii and Wii U, and of course Donkey Kong Country, Returns games, you know, Tropical Freeze. It's 2D, but with excellent 3D visuals that are very appealing to the eyes. I mean, look how vibrant all these colors are. And the environments have a great variety to them as well. I mean, each world is different. You know, at the end of each world you got a boss fight. In the middle of each stage, you know, or almost every stage, you got a mini-boss fight. You know, you gotta kill them, get their power-ups. So, yeah, there's a lot to do in this game, as well as some challenges. And again, it might seem a little simple, but I think it's got a lot of problem solving, you know, because you got to figure out how to also get these cubes, because, of course, a certain amount of them is required to access, you know, the boss fight at the end of each world. So, yeah, it's like collecting the green stars on Super Mario 3D World, and, of course, the gold coins on Super Mario 3D Land on 3DS. So, yep, you need to collect a certain amount. If not, you got to backtrack and go for them. So, yep, don't miss them if you find them. And not to mention, the newest feature is, of course, the robot suit, which pretty much makes Kirby as powerful as So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And even that, with that, you can get a power-up. To me, this almost feels like in Kirby's Dream Land 2 when you get your animal companions, you know, like the gerbil and owl and fish. Only, of course, this is just one companion. So, it doesn't drift off too far from what Kirby is, so yep, again, no gimmicks, just have Kirby be Kirby. And all I can say is, not to spoil too much, that's really all I have to say about it. It's a fun, adventurous game, and it's a great one to definitely take on the go. So, my final verdict is, Rockin' Weird won't leave much in plus up, and a plain weird mode out. Trust me, it's really good. So, now, moving into PlayStation 4 territory, that is, let's take a look at Transformers Devestation. Yes. Made by Activision, of course, the same people that did the Cybertron games, War for Cybertron and Full Up Cybertron. I've always been usually a huge fan of the Transformers franchise, but of course it has been raped over the years by those, well, it started out good and then got pretty much to the point of crappiness out of those Michael Bay movies, and the games are no exception to as well. Of course, you had that crappy Famicom game, which thankfully never saw the light of day in the United States, and those movie-based franchise games, which I never honestly ever bothered with. And sadly, that's was the fate with the Cybertron games. Started out great with the first two, and then, well, of course, they had to screw that up with the, you know, tying it with the movie franchise, which they should have never done. I mean, they should have been their own things, because what was great about the Cybertron franchise is it was based nothing around those Michael Bay movies. It reminded us more of the TV show than anything else. And this game, thankfully, gave us something more of the TV show, you know, the original cartoon than the crappy movies by Michael Bay. So, plot-wise, as you guessed, it's another alien invasion type of plot, only this time, of course, it's with the Decepticons. So, unlike the Cybertron franchise, which are great, but they're more or less first or third-person shooter kind of games, and they're fun. I like the design of all the robots and everything, and you can play as not only the Autobots, but also the Decepticons, and got all the voices, cutscenes, the music is good. I mean, I wish Michael Bay took notes on this kind of stuff right here. Even with this game as well. But this game, of course, you only play as the Autobots trying to stop the Decepticons from taking over the world and making it the new planet Cybertron. I'm assuming because, I guess, Cybertron got destroyed. So, yep, it's up to you to go kick some metal ass out of them. Instead of being a shooting game, which it can be occasionally depending on what you choose, you do get weapons like firing bullets and flames and so forth, but mainly the game is more of a hack and slash and button mashing type of game. Similar to something like Bayonetta, doing different combo moves, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, really. It's a bit monotonous and repetitive, but trust me, there's a lot more variety to this game than you really think. I mean, the production value, the designs of the city and everything, all the destruction, it just looks awesome. And taking out every single one of these Decepticons and all their traps and everything, it's just, it does require a bit of problem solving to figure out, and you do have to, of course, dodge attacks and take them out when they're flying, which can be a little annoying. Sometimes there's ones you have to chase down and beat up, and yeah, there's a lot more than just simply boss fights, and it can get a little repetitive, as I said, but yeah, it does have a lot of variety, and it's just hours and hours of fun. It's nice and lengthy, and that's what I like about this game. You get, of course, a huge assortment of Autobots to choose from, and you can choose your Autobot, but only when you're in the arc or in between levels. Yeah, this thing called an arc, which you can enter, that are at pretty fixed locations, and you can choose out of about, I believe, 5 or more Autobots. Each one has their strength and weakness. You can upgrade their weapons and mix and mash weapons and different upgrades and so forth. Yeah, there's a lot to choose from. Like, as I said, you get flames, you can get missiles, bullets, and different swords and melee attack weapons and so forth. It's just, as I said, upgrading them definitely helps you take out these different Decepticons much more easily. Not only are you in the city, you can also go inside of their, Decepticon lair, which is basically underground, where pretty much all their mischief and evil plans are taking place, and there's a lot more crap to take out. So, yeah, as you guessed, it can get a bit trickier and trickier to navigate through all these treacherous traps and everything. And as you guessed, inside this place, you gotta get through these freaking walls and get across these thinking platforms and fight these guys, and yeah, it can get really, really trickier. And even in the city it can too. Trying to carry this thinking blocks, and this I think is where I take a little bit of issue, because instead of going from the third person view, it goes to a bit of a sky view, and it gets a little bit iffy on that part of it, because really I wish it would have stuck to this view and not this. But yeah, you gotta carry this cube thing. Having to keep putting it down to fight these Decepticons gets a little bit monotonous, but after that you get a pretty cool chase and fight scene on the bridge, which is pretty fast paced, and I have to say pretty cool, but it's a little awkward because of course, you're moving side to side instead of going forward, if you get what I mean. But it's playable. Then you gotta find the gaps, of course, because, well, the bridge has been partially destroyed, and yep, more fight scenes in and out of the Decepticons' lair and on the streets of the city. And I know it's kind of empty and there's no people, but I guess the city's maybe been evacuated or something. Who knows? But all I could say is it looks awesome. I mean, look at these cutscenes. Look at the design on the Transformers, the Decepticons, the Autobots. Michael Bay, take notes on this, because really, this is how they should have looked like in the film. I mean, yeah, this is how you design Devastator, not that whopping piece of crap that you saw in the sequels to Transformers. I mean, come on, Michael Bay. You should have seriously watched this, or better yet, watch the cartoon, because that's what pretty much this game is a love letter to. Fans of the original animated series that we all grew up on and known and loved for years. I mean, yeah, I know it's a little cartoony looking, but I can tell that's what this game is trying to tribute. And yeah, all I could say is it looks fantastic. As I said, you got a lot of hack and slashing moves,